Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Fatal 12. I took some time. It's been, a little while since I last recorded, and I wouldn't say I'm over Naomi's death, but did have some time to think about things. I do find it really odd that Rinka decided not to eliminate you again. Especially considering the fact that Naomi will come back to life if she does. Because all of his actions will be undone. So it'll be as though he never existed, which means that Naomi should, in theory, come back to life. But of course, if she doesn't, then, But I gotta admit, I feel Rinka's pain, she's struggling to do anything. Just like I do on a regular basis. I'm sure Miharu here knows all about this kind of stuff. But I am kind of curious also about Miharu. Like, Miharu and I have a lot in common. More than likely, if I knew someone part of this divine selection, I'd probably help them out too and try to let them live and then just get eliminated, especially considering it doesn't seem to be painful to be eliminated, which is no surprise, I suppose. But of course, more than likely I'd end up being like the little girl or something and be forced into a situation where I gotta blab about all my information so they can eliminate me. That just figures. Though on the bright side, they don't have a lot of hostages to use. Let's be real. But anyways, so shit went down in the last episode. If you did not watch that, you need to go watch it. It's a little rough. I really, really got attached to Naomi as a character, and I really, really liked her speech there towards the beginning. You all know what I'm talking about, assuming that you have watched all of my previous videos, which I certainly hope you would, or else you might not really know what's going on. But, yeah, that was a really rough episode. But Rinka decided not to eliminate you again in the last episode at the very end, which now brings us to Miharu, who seems to be the only one doing anything out of the two of them, which is kind of surprising considering that to us, Miharu hadn't done anything over the last, 4 weeks. So it's interesting to finally see from Miharu's perspective. But today is the first day she truly begins to take divine selection seriously, as you probably guess. As much as it pains me to admit, I'm incapable of bringing Rinka's smile back on my own. Miharu has no grasp whatsoever on Yu's background. Even so, she makes the decision to perform as much research as possible. See, Miharu's gonna have to be the one to eliminate Yu because Rinka can't do it. Her claim that she would give her life for Rinka is no lie. She has no intention of it ever becoming a lie. If she has ever been sure about anything in her life, it is that. It's probably because she loves Rinka. Should our actions fail to protect Rinka's smile, there's no point in taking them. I suppose I have you to thank for allowing me to realize something important, Naomi. Miharu has very few cards pertaining to participants other than Rinka in her possession. While she may possess a keen intellect, she is but a mere high school student. Without a reliable source, all she can rely on is newspapers, books, and the internet. I like how the internet was capitalized. Number 4, name, you. Number 9. Oh, she has number 9, the person that... Regret. This is the man who spoke for the first time during the 6th election. And we don't get to see what that regret is. We just know that she has the card. Number 12, Alan. Alan Scorpion. And finally, number 12, cause of death. Yo, wait. You say that you don't have a lot of cards pertaining to anyone else other than Rinka. Unless you have all 3 cards, which I highly doubt, considering she doesn't know her own regret. I highly doubt that Miharu would have learned it by now. She knows her cause of death and her name. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But I don't know if Miharu knows about her regret. And the fact that Alan has his cause of death and name card in her possession, I mean, she just flat out lied to me. Jesus. This is all information she has pertaining to participants other than Rinka and herself. While she does have an idea regarding number 11's regret, really, she's been unable to obtain a card out of it thus far. That's kind of weird. She doesn't know Odette's name. She doesn't know Odette's cause of death, but she feels like she knows Odette's regret. That's interesting. How do you get the regret out of nowhere like that? Of the remaining participants, Alan seems the ideal target, considering he's already eliminated 3 others. The only issue is that his regret remains a mystery to her, plus the fact that she has yet to meet him face to face. That said, researching him is easier than others, comparatively due to his celebrity status. He's been featured in several magazine interviews and TV shows. Apparently he's from an area in southern India where English is the primary language. In that case, all she has to do is look up and translate any words or phrases she doesn't understand. I'm curious about you, but there are too many unknown factors regarding him right now. Having found her priorities, Miharu begins her research. Damn, there's so much mucus in my nose. Ugh. Determined as she may be, she cannot afford to lose sight of the bigger picture, and thus begins Miharu's quest for information. Since Rinka's not doing anything. Oh man. On her way off campus, Miharu notices the silhouette of an unfamiliar man. She errs on the side of caution and takes a different route in order to keep her distance from him. Oh, dude, it's number 9. I tried to do a southern accent and failed. Hey there, how you doing? He opts to call her out anyway. Miharu doesn't respond. Instead, she allows him to approach while staying on guard. As she does so, she finally recognizes him, number 9. Well, you don't look scared, or maybe you're just trying to impress me with that stoic act. I'll leave it to your imagination. As far as I'm aware, you shouldn't be able to find me by using my name. Hibinata Miharu doesn't exist, technically. You may be able to link the name to Mishima Miharu when looking through Ameka's records, but that's no simple task. In any case, he may have been waiting for Rinka. It's possible he received her name card during the initial distribution. Miharu quickly realized that isn't the case, though. It was number 8 who received that card, and she has already been eliminated. And she was eliminated by Alan, so number 9 being in possession of the card would make little sense. This leads Miharu to another conclusion. Would you happen to have my regret card, would you? Sharp, ain't ya? Yep, because it's Shishimiya Rinka. Though that probably works against you more than you'd like. Gotta admit, your regret sure took me by surprise, but thanks to that, I managed to find this place. Although it seems you parted ways with that Rinka girl. I could tell you were acquainted back when Divide Selection first kicked off. That's why I made sure to look up all the students here. I didn't find anyone named Hibinata Miharu, but I did find a Miharu. Making the link while knowing what you look like is pretty easy. I certainly hope you were not here expecting me to give you information pertaining to Rinka. We may no longer be friends, but I have every intention of keeping such things to myself. Don't worry, I know. You'd be at risk if I eliminated her. Miharu's involuntary reflex is to shoot him a glare. How could she not, after someone dares to bring up the idea of eliminated Rinka? He doesn't quite interpret it that way, though. Hey now, don't get the wrong idea. I've got no intention of eliminating you for the time being. I'm here to negotiate. You managed to get the upper hand against number 11 before, yeah? That's what led me here. I trust you know where I'm getting at. Are you genuinely suggesting that we cooperate? Why now, of all times? I've been keeping a watchful eye on the situation thus far, mainly because I figured the numbers would dwindle even if I kept out of it. His approach sounds similar to Miharu's. He may actually be cunning despite his attitude. I made it a point until we made it through a week without anyone being elected. Once that happened, I figured it'd be time to act. I expected it to happen around 3 elections in, but no. Divine selection's been way more intense than anticipated. You talk some sense, at least. Unfortunately, I can't agree to work with you just yet. Are you hoping for some of my info or something? You do know far more about me than I do about you, which is to say absolutely nothing. She's pretending that she doesn't have his regret card. So they both got each other's regret card? That's interesting. Right? Yes. Expecting me to cooperate with you under such circumstances is pushing it, no? Miharu decides to lie through her teeth. In reality, she already knows his cause of death. Telling him that she knows nothing seems like the best way to make things proceed smoothly. Yes, exactly. Ain't it enough that I admitted on having info on you? It almost feels like you're threatening that you could eliminate me with ease if you looked into my cause of death. Not what I'm going for, trust me. Though, I just can't give away my own info either. Think I could convince you by telling you what I think of this whole charade instead. I won't make any promises, but feel free. Noticing her take a step closer to him, number 11 continues. Or 9. My honest opinion is that everything about divine selection is wrong. You know how many participants there are who have no qualms with sacrificing others for their own means, don't you? They take advantage of the fact that everyone is undone once they eliminate someone by harming non-participants or using them as hostages. Such actions are without a doubt evil. What happened on Saturday proves it. So you were aware of what happened. Isn't it weird not to question why people like that would take part in the first place? There's even talk about number 4 being linked to the terrorist group Null. I'm not sure why they target this place, but they're the kind of folks who aim for crowded places like concert venues. They've sacrificed just knowing there'll be plenty of victims. Or they're satisfied. As far as I'm concerned, it's entirely possible they wanted to make a statement to you, by going after your school. It could be their way of saying they'll keep this up as long as you two don't surrender. Number 4's creepy silence in the dream world doesn't help things. Miharu's eyes widen when she hears that. She never expected to walk away with clues leading to number 4's identity. Null is a terrorist group that operates on a global scale. So little is known about them that it's common for smaller unrelated groups to use their name for recognition. On the bright side is that there was only one casualty, but the number of victims here isn't important. I got a bit off track. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? He continues to speak, his tone serious. The only people who deserve to make it through are those on the side of justice. I can't say whether that's myself, you, or your old buddy Rinka, but based on everyone's actions so far, I can't think of anyone else. I have the intention of letting you win should I come to the conclusion that you deserve to. Wow! Interesting. Okay. Not only is he making sense, but he doesn't seem tricky to deal with. Of course, she isn't foolish enough to believe that everything he says is the truth. The fact remains that number 3, 4, 11, and 12 are formidable foes. He may serve as a means towards their elimination. It bears mentioning that his beliefs on the whole matter mean nothing to her, especially when Rinka was among the 3 names he just brought up. What's most important to her right now is the possibility of obtaining more information on number 4 through him. So how about it? Fancy joining up with me? I'd be lying if I said I trust you completely, but doing so doesn't seem like a bad deal for me. With a quick huff, she continues her act. Ideally, she will get as much information on number 4 as she can right away, but that's unlikely. Fine, I'll cooperate. Just keep in mind that I have every intention of breaking ties with you when I deem it appropriate. Got it. I'll do what I can to prove I'm trustworthy, but I'm fine with that compromise. Let's get straight to business then. I've actually got another accomplice, so follow me. His statement leaves Miharu curious. Is it something unrelated to divine selection? Well, it's dangerous for her to follow him while knowing so little about him. She risks losing his trust should she refuse. He may be one to keep an eye on, but he also is not likely to betray her so fast. With that in mind, she makes sure her phone has plenty of battery remaining before following him. Good, because Naomi, that idiot. Ugh, man, anyway. Eventually, they reach a bar in Shinjuku, Kabukicho district, named Milk Crown. Japanese names for freaking restaurants are ridiculous. Or bars. It's not the sort of place one should enter in a high school uniform, but Miharu seems unfazed. That's likely thanks to her job working at a maid cafe. Miharu figures he will not betray her right away, but she quickly realizes how wrong that assumption is. Nani? Hey, didn't you say you were gonna bring another accomplice? The hell's with her then? Hold on, I know that face. Why are you here? They're the only customers in the small bar. Both are already drinking something. One drink is the color of oak and the other is pink. Miharu is used to serving alcohol at her job, so she can tell that one is whiskey and the other is some sort of cocktail. Granted, their drinks are inconsequential to the situation at hand. And why did you explain it? Okay. Both parties expected number 9's accomplice to be someone unrelated to divine selection, it seems. I'll explain later, he whispers to Miharu, although she has already gotten a general grasp of the situation. Want to explain yourself, Steel? You know full well that he be not the Miharu's our enemy. Shut it, Frederico. How come you always get so worked up? Damn it, Odette. Don't call me by my real name when we're using fake ones for Steel. My apologies, Monsieur Carmenon. Yo, she just used his full name. Bam, Miharu's got a card. Okay, dope. You're gonna pay for that. Sorry about that racket, young lady. I'm Odette Malincon. Okay. Gotta admit, I wasn't expecting to meet you here. Us two were minding our own business when this guy came up to ask us to cooperate. Wouldn't it be hilarious, like, if she had number 11's regret and cause of death card, and she just, hey, what's up? My name is Odette. This is eliminated. Gotta admit, I wasn't expecting to meet you here. Us two were minding our own business when this guy came up to ask us to cooperate. Scale. What do you two think you're doing? You got no right to say that. Your name's Miharu, right? You sure took me by surprise way back when. I'm not sure how to respond to that, Madame Malincon. Looks like the situation's taken you by surprise at least. Good enough for me. Let's call it even with that, so have a seat. How about we talk things out over a drink? My treat. And just call me Odette. I'm still a minor, so I'll pass on anything with alcohol. May I have some milk instead? Damn, the high school kids in this country are so uptight. Whatever. Miharu makes her way towards the bar, her heart thumping faster and faster. She may be calm and composed more often than not, but a situation like this doesn't allow for that. I mean, fair enough. You're surrounded by 3 technically enemies. Try as she might to find the right way to act, the answer continues to elude her. The information she has committed to memory regarding Odette is no help either. She is impossible to read face to face. Steel does not control the situation. She does. Anyway, now that we know you're not some broad who looks like Miharu. It was faint, but I noticed the light shining in your bag. You must have both of our name cards now. Is that what the whole charade was for? No way. Ain't that right, Steel? Wow, that's interesting because it says scale. I guess we know his name, I guess. Probably. Putting me in a tricky spot, aren't you? You're the one who brought up the cooperation, knowing only one of us will survive this. I'm sure you understand how critical trust is here. We've got our names, just so happen to be vital in one's success. I assume you know where I'm going with this. Here's your milk. Odette's approach does not feel like she is pursuing anyone, or pressuring anyone. She simply acts in a calm and even tone, all while swirling her glass of whiskey. Miharu takes this opportunity to judge her character. She figures that Odette is not all brawn and no brains, based on what she's heard from Sonia, but she never expected her to be this hearty and talkative. Once Odette hands off the milk, Miharu drips some syrup and takes a sip. If it's my name you want, it's my name you'll get. That makes life easier. You'd be our next target if you hesitated now. Christ, how selfish can you get? What have you done if either of them already have our info? Easy. We have uncovered their info before the next selection. Anyway, time to spill the beans. Number 9 takes a deep breath before opening his mouth. My name is Scale Jones. Can't tell you my occupation, but my blood type's O. Is that good enough for you? Why is it like, I don't know, this is only things that I find in Japanese, but like in anime and manga and stuff, it's like, hey, my name's this and this is my blood type. I have no idea what my blood type is. I don't know if I even care what my blood type is. Like, it just feels so odd to be like, hey, this is my name and this is my blood type, just so you're aware. That'll do. Miharu's card book shines the moment he reveals his name. It serves as proof he's telling the truth. Odette drowns out the rest of her whiskey before demanding another glass. Miharu may not have had any alcohol before, but she is aware that whiskey is at least 40% proof. The smell alone is enough to put off most people her age, but seeing Odette gulp it down without issue gives her a genuine shock. Yo, Frederico, Japan's whiskey ain't bad. Want some? Nah, I'm good. Sometimes I want to enjoy a nice and sweet cocktail. Well, mainly because they don't got no good wine here. Pardon. Maybe I should get something too. Something strong. There's a pang of anxiety in Scale's voice as he orders a drink that Miharu is unfamiliar with. A wave of relief washes over him as he takes a swing. Seeing that, Miharu comes to understand what people mean when they say they need a drink to get by. No normal person can keep up with someone like Odette. Frederico seems to be hiding in her shadow, but he's not normal either, based on how composed he is despite her being around. Miharu keeps her mind occupied in this manner as a means to keep her wits about her. I don't know how he managed to drag you all this way, but I assume you get the gist based on the people gathered here. That guy using us as a way to see who's worth teaming up with. Talk about twisted. Thank you for the warning, though there's no need to worry. I'm aware of his tactics. You didn't gather us here to eliminate number 4, so I assume our target is none other than Alan Scorpion, correct? Spectacular. He seems to be enjoying himself more than he was a few moments ago. Miharu cannot help but wonder if the alcohol has started to do its job already. Alright, fair enough. I like how Odette and Frederico can't handle it on their own, so they have to team up, you know? Oh, we're Frederico. Odette and I were staying in a hotel in Japan when the 6th election took place. That's the first time we came out of an election without any eliminations. Talk about unusual. Guess we couldn't do too much about it, considering the circumstances. I'd made a decent recovery since the kid did a number on me. I wasn't completely better yet, though. Making a recovery to me just meant that I could move around again. So what happened to the kid's card at the end there? Like I said, it disappeared. Don't know how, when it was one of my starting cards, but it did. Chances are, it happened during the 5th election, just before the old man got eliminated. The same thing Seems to have happened to Alan as well, although it was after he eliminated him. Alan Scorpion. It wasn't hard for us to find out his name because he's a world-famous jeweler. And that's literally all we could find out. Neither of us started out with any of his cards either. The current discussion about how one of Odette's cards disappeared, which tied to him. After he eliminated the old man Shinketsugu, he obtained number 4's regret card, and yet the card shattered the moment he reached out to grab it. My card disappeared the exact same way his did. I don't know how many other people had number 4's cards, but odds are all but the cause of death card has disappeared. Only thing I can think of is the contents changed. I get how a name can change, but the regret, that got me puzzled. Especially when you consider that everyone's personal perception plays a big part in the rules of divine selection. Curious about the whole no name thing before that too. Did they just not have a name? That one's simple. They either never had the chance to be named by their parents, or they ditched their past and an old name. The former is pretty common for war orphans. Ditch their past? Some people would adopt new names after doing such a thing, in my line of business too. Wait, that explains things. I came up with a possible answer all on my own. Number 4 was probably given a name during divine selection, one that they considered to be their true name. Odette usually reached conclusions based on situational evidence, but it looked like I was picking up on that habit as well. Couldn't you say I was too big on it, but judging by her expression, we were thinking the same thing. Seems like a school here was the target of a terrorist attack recently. When you think about it, plenty of terrorists work alone. And the fact that kids are harder to detect, especially here in Japan, and it ain't no coincidence, eh? We might be at some kind of deadlock for the moment, but we could still make it some sort of progress. Even if we didn't do anything crazy, someone else was more than willing to step up, as if to prove that. The very same day we got the unexpected visitor, number 9, some suspicious American calling himself Steele. Which leads us to now, I assume. Alan Scorpion's elimination. Miharu brings up the topic as frankly as possible. Wouldn't you assume number 4 has to be our first target based on recent events? Perhaps. His actions serve as a means to provoke us, so it's not hard to take notice. But you all made it clear that you have no intention of letting him provoke you. You're a bit too sharp for my tastes. Never was one for dating girls as smart as you, but hey, I wouldn't complain about a night or two. How about you quit talking crap and learn a thing or two from her? Odette, you're fucking awesome. Tell him to shut the fuck up. Moving on, so far, Alan has instigated the most elections of us all. Chances are he has most cards, too. That's why it's ideal for all of us to team up and deal with him. Am I right, Scale? It's common knowledge that he was able to return his jewelry business into a worldwide operation all on his own. His actions early on the divine selection, coupled with his celebrity status, have led the Japanese police force keeping their eye on him. Trespassing, obstruction of business, that sort of stuff. He's a real criminal to them. But here's the thing, he's got connections with both the Indian and Japanese governments through his company. His influence isn't big enough for him to outright ignore him, but they're making sure the police have their hands tied. That ain't all. His information network's probably the trickiest part about him. Pretty much. If he knows your name, then you might as well give in to the fact that he probably knows your entire background as well. You're lucky I'm the one who scouted you all out. Might want to act a bit more careful from here on. Yeah. As if you don't have any good sources of your own. I'd prefer you didn't compare me to someone with conglomerate behind him. Thank you very much. I like that you ain't denying it. Well, whatever. If we're gonna cooperate, then knowing each other's names is the bare minimum condition for me. I'm sure you're all aware of what will happen if you try and pull anything funny, too. Scale grimaces at the proclamation before taking another sip of his drink. He must not have appreciated that open threat. After he gulps his drink, he shifts the topic. Now then, chances are Alan will end up coming out of this whole thing as the winner if we let him keep at it. That's what I think, at least. There's no justice in someone like him winning. Like I said, he ain't nothing but a criminal now. Let's not even get into the things he's probably done to get here where he is now. He's a villain, no doubt about it. He's rather into this, isn't he? Miharu whispers to herself quietly so Scale doesn't hear. He doesn't seem to be lying about his belief that other participants do and don't deserve to make it through divine selection. The irony is that he's willing to team up with people like Odette and Frederico. Yep, I agree. Miharu is unsure of how things will play out down the line, but right now she can at least keep a watchful eye on him. We can't let someone like Alan run wild, especially after what number 4 pulled. Alan is likely to target him now. Should he succeed, he'll have yet another card at his disposal. Letting him gain more of an advantage over only spells disaster for us. That's why we need to work together to eliminate him now. So you say, but you're struggling to find any meaningful info on him, aren't you? That's part of it, yeah. Few people know what he was up to when we all kicked the bucket, and he made sure that those who would have kept their mouth shut about it. I can't do this on my own, that's why I approached you. Must suck to have Frederico call you out on something. Are you sure you want to partner up with us after all that talk about justice and such? Your card book didn't react when we told you our names, so you must have gotten a hold of them at some point, probably around the time you came to our hotel. I can only assume you know everything about our backgrounds and how, well, villainous we are. Crap, seriously! Like I said, we're cooperating in order to eliminate Alan Scorpion at number 4. I've already come to accept that this is a necessary evil. I'll make it perfectly clear, we're not here to make friends. You two are my targets after those two are gone. I'm sure you were thinking the same thing about me. Sounding like a proper villain yourself with that line, bud. Mind if I ask where the young lady falls in regards to all this? Miharu listens in bewilderment. To her, it sounds like the alcohol has caused them to discuss things completely unrelated to the topic at hand. I would appreciate if you settled your little squabble, whether or not you'll be cooperating without me first. Miharu may have succumbed to Odette's threatening nature at first, but it was only a matter of time before she settled down. Their light-hearted conversation is likely contribution. She holds nothing but fear for them in the court of fate, but here they seem like regular people. I try not to tease Scale so much, Odette. I'm starting to feel sorry for him. Oh, you caught on! Is that what they call a woman's intuition? You're a bit younger than I imagined, but plenty mature. How about we ditch these losers and go somewhere else? God, I hate Frederico sometimes. Miharu takes a step back upon hearing his proposition. Words aren't necessary when her expression shows the answer. You dumbass, you know that? You're a dumbass, you know that? Well, I can't blame you for thinking she's probably got the moves. Anyway. Really? I ain't against partnering up. Just wanted to call you out on contradicting yourself. Hate to admit it, but we're also struggling. You're a lot more troublesome in person than I imagined, madam. So, we're officially partners until we eliminate Alan. Let's save making a plan of attack for later and seal the deal with another round. Do you want something yet, Miharu? I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask that you all swallow something other than alcohol first. Miharu holds out her empty glass with a bold smile. Odette does not seem bothered, but Frederico and Scale obviously are. Their expressions are full of worry over what she will say next. I happen to know Alan's cause of death. It was part of my initial set. You what? For real? You may have reliable information networks at your disposal, but it's not enough to counter the advantage I have already possessing the card itself. Guess we gotta swallow your conditions first, huh? Fine, go ahead. Indeed. If we are going to cooperate,
then I ask that we target number 4 first. Scale is already aware of this, but it was a Mecha Girl University High School that he targeted, my school. There was only one casualty as a result, but it just so happened to be an underclassman I knew.
So what, you tell us Adeline's cause of death and we help you eliminate the kid?
Miharu nods.
Damn, hurts to imagine a cutie like you can have revenge on her mind.
Because Rinka won't do it.
I'm fairly sure she isn't seeking revenge here, Frederico. Should a participant be eliminated, their actions since the divine selection will be undone. That's one of the rules. You're looking to bring your friend back through eliminating him, aren't you?
You're free to interpret my intentions however you wish.
Count me in. There are fewer things more just than wanting to save a friend. Okay. Number 4's actions undoubtedly make him evil. All we're doing is changing the order in which we do things. The reason why his regret card disappeared remains a mystery, but I get the feeling the 4 of us can get past that.
Thoughts, Odette. It'll take a bit longer overall, but we're guaranteed to get our hands on Alan's cause of death while eliminating another participant at the same time.
Did you consider the possibility of us turning you down?
I considered it wasn't likely. Scale's decision to leave number 4 for later was likely due to the fact that one of his own cards was among those he started with. He wouldn't bring up the topic of his regret card disappearing without a reason, after all. At the same time, you not bringing it up whatsoever is somewhat suspect.
The odds are in Miharu's favor. The rest lies on Odette's reaction. She is not worried about being wrong. If she is, then they will likely assume she is overthinking things. Odette cracks a smile. Miharu's gamble is a success. This is what Odette's expression says to her. Not only did she have either a name or regret card belonging to you, but she also witnessed it disappear in response to its change of contents. Miharu notices Scale's expression turn far too serious, too. She nods to herself with confidence, having confirmed that her suspicions were right.
You're right, I had the kid's name card and I saw it disappeared with my own eyes. By process of elimination, Scale must have had his regret card. Do you realize this entire scenario is why we were leaving that kid for last, right? We can't act if there's no solid guarantee that things will work out. Prioritizing him just ain't gonna happen if you don't have another surprise in store for us. Something like knowing his cause of death.
True enough, but hey, I agreed to this assuming she knew that much.
But of course, I don't know his cause of death though, just his name.
Now I'm interested. So the name card you had didn't disappear?
So that's how it is. You managed to get your hands on the info after the cards vanished, right? Mind telling us where and how you managed that? I am in no obligation to disclose that. However, I will share his name with you all should you agree to target him first. While we only know his name right now, his actions make him easy to trace. I'd say that we have a much better position to gather the rest of his information than Alan is.
Miharu casts an overt glance over to Scale. Scale seems to comprehend the meaning behind it immediately. Leave that to me. I figured we'd be starting with his cause of death, but this actually makes things easier. Plenty of journalists are looking into the cause on their own, so this should serve as a good bargaining chip. You're fine with that, right? Miharu offers another nod. She is not quite sure just how much she can trust him, but he's already proven his ability to gather information by uncovering Odette and Frederico's names. Sucks that I won't be able to stick to that annoying bastard right away, but it ain't like we've got anything to work with. Let's go with her plan for now.
Count me in too. Looks like all your effort was worth it. I'll take that as a compliment.
Thus, Miharu shares number 4's name with the 3 of them. She also reevaluates her opinions of them. Scale is undoubtedly hiding something. His true intentions being a mystery leads her to that conclusion. While he may be suspicious, but the things he told her when they first met seem to be the truth. yet he's still chosen to team up with Odette and Frederico. Frederico himself lets Odette do all the work, but he's a rather sharp one regardless. He's also the type of person whose actions are hard to predict. Specifically, he snaps at some point, and what he would do is anyone's guess. As for Odette, she speaks for herself. She saw right through Miharu's nerves during their exchange. As much as she tried to look calm and composed, Odette spoke of her effort involved in doing so. She knew. It's important not to slip up when talking to her, but Miharu now understands that focusing on that too much can be just as dangerous.
Well, let's drink up, troops.
Are you for real? Oh well, I'm in. Following that, Miharu exchanges phone numbers with Scale. While hesitant at first, she ultimately goes through with it after realizing she can cancel her phone contract if necessary. With that done, she leaves the bar before others begin to celebrate. If one thing surprised her, it was her ability to engage with them at their level. At the same time, it fueled her determination to cooperate with them. It's the only way she can accomplish her goal, the only way she can help Rinka smile again. Well, that was interesting. So, that's all the time we have for this episode, so make sure to click that thumbs up button down below for me because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the series thus far and hit that subscribe button for future content, and we'll see you all next time.